So up until now you may have seen many note taking or notes applications. But what do you think about your own notes app? Yes, you're right. We are going to build a simple notes app in this last section of week 2 so that we will say a goodbye to week 2 and then move to the week 3 for learning some more advanced concepts of our Flutter framework. So let's see what we are going to build in this last section of week 2. So we are going to build this note application that you can see on the screen, where we have an app bar within some text of notes, and we have 2 buttons that are just for designing, but that will not work in this application. And when there are no notes, we are simply showing an image and some text of create your colorful notes. Yes, you can judge this application from these colors, like we can also select the color for our notes. So that will be our initial or home page of our notes application. So let's go forward for creating a note. So when this floating action button is clicked, simply this will navigate us to the create note page, where we have a button of going back to the home page, and here we have an done button. When we click this, note will start creating, and after a while the note will be created and this will navigate back us to home page. And here that is our field of title, where we will enter our title of note, and here we have the body of the note, like some description, and here we will select our note, and that is the horizontal list view showing up in here, and that is simply the list of notes map in here, and simply show it up here on the UI. So after entering the note title and its body, and after selecting the note just like this here, just like this, after typing your note title, note body, and selecting your note color just like this. So when you click this icon of done, simply just like this, an iOS indicator will show up and the background color of the scaffold will become a bit light gray. After some while, this will navigate us to the home page, and our note will be created and will be show up on the UI just like this. That is our note title, and that is the body, or we can also say the description of the note, and that is the color that we have selected while creating that particular note. So when you click this note, simply this will navigate you to the edit note page, where we have again a back icon and a save button, and we got the title and the body of the note and the selected color already while editing it. So let's say we change this title and the body and the color of the note while editing it. Simply let's say we set it to body 2, my note 2, or this is my note 2, and we simply select this color now instead of this yellow color. And after this, when we click this save, simply this will show up and dialog box, and it is simply saying save changes, no or yes. And yes, we are also going to build this beautiful dialog box also in this application. So this will appear, and when you click this no, simply this will disappear and nothing will happen. So when you click this yes, again the iOS indicator will appear just like this, and after some while this will simply navigate you back to the home page, and you can see your note is updated to my note 2 and this is my note 2, and that's how this works. And now last feature that is remaining is of deleting this note. So when you long press this single note, simply an other dialog box will appear, and it will look something like this. And here we have the same dialog box within some text of are you sure you want to delete this note? If you click no, again simply nothing will happen, and if you click yes, simply the note will be deleted. Let's say when you click yes, and simply the note will be deleted. And again, when there are no notes in the Cloud Firestore, yes, we will be using the Cloud Firestore for creating, reading, updating and deleting our data of the notes. So if there are no notes in the Cloud Firestore and the notes collection is empty, simply we will show this image of colors and create colorful notes. So it means there are no notes and the list is empty. So that's what we are doing in this simple note application. And that was it for the demo of this Notes app, and that's what we are going to build in this last section of week 2. So before going forward and start creating the buttons in here and simply put the image and the text in the middle of the scaffold, we have to create some widgets for our application that will be used throughout our application in order to avoid the duplication of code anywhere in the different pages of the application. So simply for that code that is repeated so many times, for that code we will simply create separate widgets and will pass the dynamic data to it. So simply in the different parts of the application we will simply call that particular widget and will use them where we want it. And that's it. Simply let's start creating the widgets of our Notes application, and then we will go forward for creating the UI. So let's create one .file inside the widget and its name will be, so we have created one widget and its name is button widget. So inside this we will do, obviously we need this Flutter material imported and a simple stateless widget of button widget. And next this is going to return a simple container with the width and height of 40, and in the decoration property we pass the box decoration, and in the color we pass the button background color that is in the colors.file, and that is this color. Simply we pass the button background color in here for this button widget, and its border radius is circular about 10. And next in this button widget is going to be simply in the child property. We will do center, and in the child property of the center we will pass an icon, and that icon will come dynamically to this button widget. The on tab will also be the dynamic tab on the specific button that is called anywhere. So for that specific button there will be its own on tab method and its own icon. So let's pass the on tab and the icon in the constructor of this button widget. So for that we will do create two final fields. The one will be icon data, its name will be icon, and the other will be void callback, like some callback action or method call which it accepts the void function. On tab simply we pass void callback on tab and pass it in here, so that will be specific for different buttons. So simply we do on tab here and icon in here, and also pass them in the constructor, and the one icon will be required and the other will be nullable, like if you want to create the on tab or not. So it's upon us. If you want to create, simply pass it. If not, simply leave it just like this. And we make this nullable just because for some buttons that we just use for UI design but that not work, simply for that we make this field nullable. So for that buttons this will not work, and for the others if you want this will work, like the done button and the save button in the create and the update pages. So for that buttons that will work, and for the others it will not work. So that is our button widget, and that button in the created design, it is that button that width and height of 40 and this icon, and when this is clicked. So that is the button widget. You can see it's used in the home page 2 times, and it's also used in the, let's say in the create or in the update we have this button, and for the back it's also used, and in the also in the create we have this done and we have this back again. So it's used lots of time in this application. So for that we create the button widget in order to avoid the duplication of code, so that we'll use this button, so that we'll simply call this button widget and pass the icon and the on tab method of the specific button. So that will be it, and this widget will save us from the duplication of the code. So that's what is the purpose of creating the separate widgets in order to not duplicate the code, this specific code again and again in our application. So next widget in our Notes application is going to be, let's create one more .file in the widgets directory, and let's name it dialog box widget. And here will be located our dialog box of our Notes application, and we are creating the widget for our dialog box. That is because if you look at here in the application, while we are saving the notes in here, you can see we need this dialog box with some text of save changes in here, and also after this while deleting it here we also need this with some different text. So in order to not duplicate this 2 times in our Flutter application, in our Notes application, that's why for that we are creating the dialog box widget, so that will pass this text dynamically. So that's it. Now minimize this and let's go for creating this dialog box. So first of all here we are going to have, first we will import the Flutter material for this build context, and in here we are going to have one method of show dialog box, and this is going to accept first of all the build context, as we are going to show the dialog box. So obviously that has the separate context for this. So simply while removing this dialog box from the UI when it show up, so for that we have to pop that context to remove that context from the stack, as you're already familiar with the stack method from the first or the second section of this video, like when we were doing the routing in our Flutter application. So that's why we need the build context. So next here there will be some name parameters, so that will be inside the map like this, or name parameters we can also say. So inside this we are going to have some parameters, and that will be the title of our dialog box. Like you already have seen, we have different title for two of the dialog box in our Notes application. So that's why we are going to have the title, and that's nullable. Yes, that's nullable, and that is the void callback when the tab yes is clicked. So what will be the action performed? On one hand we are performing the update, and on the other hand we are performing the delete. So that's why we have the on tab yes. Also the dynamic like on tab will be different for two of the buttons, and we have the double height for this dialog box. Like you have seen in the updating the node, we had the dialog box size or height smaller than the delete one. Like the delete one has more text, so we set some more height to this, and for the updating we had some little height as compared to the delete one. So that's why we also have the height in here. So that are the dynamic properties that will be specified for a specific dialog box where it is called. So that will be nullable just like this, and in the body let's create it, and here this is going to return. So this is going to return the show dialog method, and in the context we pass the build context. In the builder this also accepts the context, and now in here this is also going to return the dialog widget, and inside this dialog widget we are going to have a property of shape, and its shape accept the rounded rectangular border shape, and we set the border radius to 15. Like the border radius of our dialog box will be 15 circular. So next property in here in the dialog is going to be the background color of the dialog. So simply we will set the background color of the dialog box to the dark gray color, and that is again coming from the colors we have in the theme. So next property in here is going to be the child property of this dialog widget. So in the child we will pass the container widget in here, and its width will be double infinity, meaning that the max width and the height will be the height dynamic as we have specified in here. So also the padding will be symmetric, horizontally 15, vertically 20, and also to format this code simply hold Ctrl Alt Shift and hit the L. Simply this pop-up will appear, and click the run. Simply this will format your code, and also put the comma in here and do the same and hit enter. So our code is correctly formatted. Now let's go for the other properties of the dialog widget. So inside the child of the container we are going to have the column widget. Like we are going to have some content aligned vertically like this. We have an icon, some text, and two buttons vertically aligned. So that's why we have the column in place. So in here in the child, which accepts the list of widgets, we are going to have first of all an icon of information, and that is that icon, and its color is light gray color, and its size is 40. And after this we are going to have some size box vertically, and then some text, and the title will also comes dynamically from here, and its text align will be in the center, and in the style we set simply the font size to 25. Its font weight will be some little bit font weight, and it should be W300, and its color is white 70. And next after this we will simply copy this size box. Like we also want some size box also right after this, so simply we will paste it. So that's it. Now right after this we are going to have a row widget, and its main axis alignment will be spaced evenly, as we are going to create two buttons and there will be even space between them. Like you can see in here, there's two buttons and some even space between them. So that's why we set it just like this. And in the children property of this row, this again accept the list of widgets. So simply we will do inside this. First we will create a container. Its width will be 150 and its height will be 40, and that's the max width of our button in the dialog box. And next in the container there will be the box decoration property, and its border radius will be circular about 5 and its color will be red, as this is the first button, and that will be of no, like to just pop this context of show dialog. So right after this decoration property of container, we are going to have in the child property of the container, there will be a center widget, and the child property of the center now here will be a text of simple no. And here we are going to have the style property where we set the font size to 16 and its color is white, and that's it. Now right after this, simply what we will do in here, we will wrap this container widget of red color with the text no with the gesture detector, and in the on tab property we will simply set the navigator pop that context. Like in all the cases, this no button will done the job of simply removing the new context from this tag. So simply we set the navigator pop context, and the next button will be same as this. So simply we will copy this and paste it right here, and simply this button in the gesture detector accept the on tap yes method. So here that will perform some different work like delete or update when we call this dialog box. So the width and height are same, the decoration is also same, only the color is green, and here the text is only yes. So that's it also for our dialog box widget in our Node application. So that will be called in our application and will be used by specifying only these properties in order to avoid using this code, this huge number of code again and again in our Node's application. So after creating this show dialog box widget, the next widget in our Flutter application is going to be the form widget. Like if you see the demo of the application while creating the node, here we have one form and the other form, and both accept the controller to extract the value from the text form field. So both accept the controllers, both have different hints like to start typing, and also it has some more area in here, and it has some like one line, and also the same is for create. In here you can see start typing and the title. So it's also using 2 times in different parts of the application. So for that you'll also create a widget in order to avoid the duplication of the form again and again in our Node application. So in the widget we will create one dot file, and again its name will be form widget, and that's it. Hit enter, and inside this, first of all in here we are going to have an import of Flutter material dot and a form widget. So this is going to return now a simple form feed, and here the max line will also come dynamically, and its font size will also come dynamically. Like the font size in our title in here are larger than body text ones, so here we also have the font size dynamic, and the controller also dynamic. For the controller, for the title controller we have the different, and for the body we have the different controller, and both has the different hint text. So that's why we create the form widget in here. And now next here, this is going to accept the some fields in the constructor. So these fields will be the same max line, font size, controller, and the hint text. So we will do the font size, which will be nullable, the max line, which will also be nullable, the controller will be required, and the hint text will also be required. So simply we'll pass them here in the constructor, and that was it for our form field. So after this we are done with our widgets, and next we will go for creating or designing the home for our Nodes application. So now in here in the app bar we want the 2 buttons, like let's make it behind, and we want these 2 buttons in. So for that here we have the property of actions in the app bar. So inside this action what we will do in here, so we will call, so inside this actions we will call our button widget, and inside we'll pass the search icon, and also we want, so after this when you Ctrl S to hot reload and open up the emulator, this button looks something like this. So we will style it a little bit, so let's wait for it. Now let's duplicate this and put some size box in between them, and width will be 10, and its icon is going to be the info outline, and as these are the buttons in here, so after this we will simply cut them and simply we'll put a row widget, and inside this will be children and paste it inside. And after this simply Ctrl S to hold load. We got these two buttons in a row, and open up the emulator, so we got the buttons like this. Now to move them a bit in here from the right, so we'll simply wrap this row with the widget of padding, and simply we will set the right from right 10. Now after this Ctrl S to hold load and open up your emulator, and we got these two buttons in here, and these will not work. That is just for the designing in here. So next in here, right after this, we will come to the body of the scaffold right after this app bar. So in the body of the scaffold, we are going to have a container, and margin from all sides will be 8, and padding from inside the box we will have horizontally 15 and vertically also 15, and its width will be infinity. And in the decoration property of this container, we are going to have the box decoration color will be green, and actually we are building first the single note widget like here in the demo. This single note widget, when the note is created, right after this we are simply creating the single note widgets. Later we will simply show it on the UI according to the specific title, description and the color. So for now its color we set it to green, and later this will come from when we select it in the create page. So for now we are creating only single, so that will be just like this. So its decoration will be just like this, and right after this we are going to have in the child we simply put the column widget, as we are going to have like the title and the description. So in the column this will be aligned vertically. Simply we do the column and its cross-axis alignment is start. By default it's center, so we have to make it start. And inside this we are going to have these two text widgets, and between it has some height, meaning that the vertical space of 5, and the first text has some font size 20, as this is the title, and its font weight is W500 and its color is black. And for the description or the body, here we have this text for now. This later this will come when we create the note. The text will come from the fields. So also the style we have set the colors black and font size is 16, as this is the body or description of the note. So after this we have this single note successfully created. Now when we Ctrl S to hot reload, so now when we open up our emulator, it got the max height just like this. So for now let's say we set the height of this to, let's say 200 or let's say 100 for now, and later this will be dynamic height according to the data inside the container. After this Ctrl S to hot reload, and we got this like this. So we don't have to specify the height in here, as this will be dynamic when the single item of note show up in the list view builder. So after this simply Ctrl S to hot reload, and this will be just like this. And we do not want also this to directly return this large number of code from the list view builder to show it up on the UI. Simply we will cut this from here, and for this we will create one widget, and its name will be single note widget, and inside this we will paste this stateless, and its name will be again single note widget, and this is going to return this container. And now import the Flutter material, and now this is going to accept this title, body, its color, and the tabs like on long press and the on tab dynamically. So we will do here the title, body, color. So we have the color of tab, and that is because in the Cloud Firestore we cannot store the favorite color, like the color constant in the Cloud Firestore. So we have the int tab for our color. That is because we cannot store the favorite color type in the Cloud Firestore. It has some raw data types like the string, integers, numbers, maps, list. So it do not have the color, but instead we set the color type to int, meaning that we'll store the value of the color inside the Cloud Firestore, and on that value then we will access this color. So that's why we set the int of type color, and here in the dynamic color, we will simply pass color, and this will be this color value of type integer as it accepts the integer. And for the title, there will be the title, and for the body there will be the body. And also then we will wrap this container with the widget of gesture detector, and in the on tab we will pass the on tab, and for the on long press, here on long press, this will be on long press. On tab we will navigate to the other edit page, and on long press we will simply show the delete dialog box, and also pass these fields in the constructor of this widget. Now after this, simply copy this widget from here and paste it in here, and do it just like this, and import this. And now if we Ctrl S to reload, this will throw an error just because we also have to pass the body, title and others. Let's say title will be again the title, and its body will be body, and for the color this will be, let's say, this integer, that is the value of the white color. So in the on tab we will for now do nothing, just simple open method of the body, and on long press we will do nothing, and Ctrl S to reload and open this up. We got the white color for the same title in here. Now let's show it up in the list view builder. Cut this from here and put the list view builder in here. So we got this list view builder, and its item count is for now 5, and in the item builder its context index is returning the single note widget, and that is the properties that we have set it. Now if we Ctrl S to reload and open up our emulator, simply you can see we got the 5 note items in here with the white color, title, body, and title, body again and again. So for now that is just the dummy data, and later this will come from our color Firestore when you go for the backend stuff. So for now that is for the home page, and next let's go for creating the create node page. So for creating the create node page, here we also want the add button, that will be the floating action button. So the scaffold directly allow us to create that. So right after the body here we are going to have an scaffold button, and that will be in the property of floating action button. So this is going to accept. So our floating action button will be the floating action button widget for creating it, and its background color will be black 54, and when this is pressed, for now this is just like this, and the icon we have the add, its size is 30 and its color will be white. And in here when we Ctrl S to reload and open up the emulator, we got the button just like this. Now to increase its size a little bit, simply you will wrap this floating action button with the widget, that will be the container, and its width will be 60 and height will be 60. And then Ctrl S to reload, open up the emulator, we got some large size for our floating action button. And when this is clicked, so we will do navigator push and context material page route builder and the create node page, like to move us to the create node page, and that will come upon the home page like in the stack method as I explained the initial videos of the week 2. So now we will create this create node page. So inside the screens we will create one dart file, its name will be create node page, and inside this there will be a widget that will be a stateful widget, and here we also need to import the flutter material.dart. So here in the build method, this is going to return the data of the create node page. So this is going to return the scaffold. In the body there will be the column and list of children. So inside the column there will be, so first in the list of children of the column we are going to have a row, its main axis alignment will be spaced between, like to align the 2 child of this row at the one at the leftmost and one at the rightmost. So we got the 2 buttons in here, the one is of back, like to go back to the home page, and the one is for creating the node. So that's it. In the button widget we simply call the navigator pop context, as this will pop the context of this create node page, and this done button for now will not work. So after this, when we Ctrl S to reload, this will throw an hot reload error. That is because we also have to import this create node page in here so that we will be able to navigate to it. Now after this, simply hot restart your application, or you can also hot reload it. Simply open up your emulator. We got this home page for now. This will later come from the Cloud Firestore, and now when you click this add, this will navigate us in here, and we got this back icon and the done icon, and that are not really visible and that are not at the safe area. Simply here we will go and we will wrap this column with a widget of padding, and we will simply set the symmetric horizontal 15 and vertical 50. Now after this, Ctrl S to hot reload, and we got the spacing like this, and we got these two buttons, one at the leftmost, one at the rightmost. When we click this, this will navigate back us in the home page, and when we click this, this will navigate us to the create node page. So that's it in here. Now right after this row, we are going to have some size box of 30, and we simply call the form widget and we pass the font size 40, and the controller, which is not created yet and we are going to create it in a while, and in the hint text we pass the title. And next we are going to have the height 10, like the vertical 10 spacing, and again the form widget, its max line is 15 just because that will be our body or the description of the note, and its font size is 20. And then the body controller to extract the text of the body, and this controller is for extracting the text from this title, and its hint text is start typing, just like this. And now let's go for creating these controllers here. So these will be simply text editing controllers, just like this. We got the type of them, we got the name, and we simply got initialize them. And after this, we will also make sure to dispose them in order to avoid the memory leaks. So we have got the form fields, and after this, when we Ctrl S to hot reload and open up the emulator, you can see we got this title with the font size of 40. We can type it in here just like this. We got the body, and that's it. Now one thing here we want is the list of colors horizontally aligned right after this body form widget. So here right after this, we will do some size box about 10 of height like vertically, and after this we will do, there will be a container of height 80, and its child is going to return the list view builder, and in the item builder we do context index, and this is now going to return a simple container just like this. And let's say for now, let's set its item count to, let's say 10, and also make sure to set the scroll direction to axis dot horizontal, like it will be horizontally aligned. Now after this, simply hold Ctrl Alt Shift L, this will appear, hit enter, so simply your code will be formatted. Now Ctrl S to hot reload and open up your emulator, and we got the colors just like this. But for now, this is simple green color with the border of 3, and its color is white. This is simple container. If I didn't explain, its width is 60, height is also 60, margin from horizontal sides, and its decoration, its color is green, and border from all sides with 3, color white, and its box shape is circle. And that's what this container is. And now to load all the colors in here that we have in the utility in that predefined colors list, simply in the create node page, here we will do, in the item count we will do predefined colors dot length, and then also in the item builder we will do, to extract the single color on the specific index from the list, we will create a final variable single color, and from the predefined color on the specific index we will simply extract the specific color on the specific index in the predefined colors list. So now we got the single color from this, and now we will simply pass this color in here. Now Ctrl S to hot reload and open this up, and we got all these colors that are in the utility list of this predefined color list. So that's it. Now in here in the emulator, if you can see, all the circles got the border of with 3 and its color is white, so that border will be only for when that specific color is selected. So how we can select the color accordingly, so that we'll store it later in our Cloud Firestore database. So here we will create a variable in this tag. Its name will be selected color, as we are going to store the integer value in the cloud Firestore. So simply its type will be int, and that is again the color of white color value. So simply we set it. If we do not select any color for our node, so simply its color will be white, as this default selected color is white. Simply this variable will be just like this, and here then we will simply wrap this container with the widget of the gesture detector. This will be widget and gesture detector, and when this is tapped, open the body for this, and when this is clicked, simply we will set the stat. To update the stat variable, we will simply selected color will become equal to the single color dot value. So each time a single color is clicked, simply that color value will be stored in the selected color, and then accordingly we will check for the border. If the single selected color, not single color, was equal to single color dot value, meaning that if the selected color got the value of the specific index that is selected, simply the border color will be white, otherwise its color will be transparent, meaning that if the selected color got the value of the single color that is selected, simply we will set that specific color or container circle is selected, otherwise this will be not. Now after this, Ctrl S to hot reload and open up the emulator and close this, and you can see none of the color is selected. When you click this, you can see the white color, the white circle got the rounded borders, as this selected color got the value of that color, and now this condition is true. The selected color got the value of that color, so simply that circle got the white borders of width 3 and the others are transparent. Now just like this, when you click the others, so this will work just like this, like we are selecting the colors like this, and that is storing the selected color. Later we will pass this to the create method, so simply that value will be stored in the cloud Firestore, and later if you want to retrieve it, simply we will retrieve that value and pass it in the color, so that you will see the color of that specific node on the UI while we are getting the node in here on the UI. So its scenario will be just like this. So we have also created the create node page, and you can see these are the colors just like this, and this is the title, the body, and this is not working for now as just we are designing the UI. So this will start working in a while when we create the models and the backend methods of this node application. So that's it for the create node page, and now let's go for creating the update node page. So the update page or the edit page will be similar to this, only the icon will be changed, and when you click that, simply and pop-up will appear. So let's create this also in here in the screens directory. We'll create one more file. Its name will be edit node page, and inside this we'll cut or copy this create node page data and we'll paste it inside this, as everything will remain the same and only one icon will be different. So we will select the create node page just like this by selecting only the create node just like this, and hold Alt and J, and this will select the corresponding same value that we have selected. Simply press the backspace and name this edit node page, and that we have changed its name. Now it's time also to change this icon done to icon dot save outline. Now Ctrl S to reload, go to the home page, and when this on tab is clicked, like when a single node is clicked, simply we will do, let's copy this push method from here and paste it in here, call the edit node page in here, Ctrl S to reload and open up your emulator, go back, and when we click a single node, this will simply navigate us to the edit node page, and you can see here we got the save icon in here. So we have successfully also created our edit node page. Now let's go and create. When we click this save, simply show up the dialog box. Also when we hold a single node, also show up the dialog box. So first of all, when this long pressed, when the single node is long pressed, so simply we will show here, we will call the show dialog box widget. In the context we pass that specific context. In the height we specify the 250, and in the title we are saying are you sure you want, and here we are breaking the line so that to delete this node will be aligned one line break like in the second line, and when this on tap yes is clicked, for now we are simply popping the context also, but for now we are not deleting any note in here as the backend is not yet implemented. So after this, Ctrl S to hot reload, that is the show dialog box method. Widget which we have created in here, simply we pass the dynamic data, so that will create our dialog box. Now simply we will open up our emulator and close this and long press any single node here. Let's say we want to long press this 4. Simply when we do this, simply a dialog box will appear. It will say, are you sure you want to delete this node? And when you say no, this will disappear, and the same when you click yes, this will disappear, and later if we click yes, this will be deleted. But for now this is just a dummy data, so that's why it's not deleting from here. So that was it for also this method. Now let's copy this from here and go to the edit node page, and when this is clicked, this save outline, simply we will again import this, and this text will be changed for now, and its height will also be changed, like its height will be 200, and the title this will say save changes. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open up your emulator, go to the click this, and this is our edit page. When we click this, this will simply show up save changes. When you say no, this will disappear, and when you say yes, this will still disappear. As I said again, the backend is not yet implemented, and we will go for it in a while. So we are done with our UI. We have created our home page, we have created the create page, and we have created the edit page, and we have also implemented this dialog box, and we have created the separate widgets for all of these. We have the utility for showing the toast in order to not duplicate our code in this node application. We have the colors of our application here that used throughout the application, and we have also implemented or created the pages for it. Now it's time to go for the backend. So now before going forward for the backend stuff, let's do one more thing in this edit node page, that is we do not have to initialize them, and that will be these controllers will not be initialized in here, but this will be nullable just like this. And in the init stat, when the init stat, the first method, when that is called, when the stat is inserted into the widget tree, first when this init stat is called, so simply later this title and the body will come from the specific node that is clicked while coming to the edit node page. So this will be possible after we have get the nodes in the home page, so that you will see it in a while. So for now this will be just like this, but the assertion operator in here as this is null, so here we are saying that is non-nullable and dispose them. So you will see this method also in the init stat, that how we will do or get this title and the body while coming to this edit node page for a specific node. So that is it for this. Now here this also required the assertion operator, this body and the title controller. That's it. Now let's go for creating the models. So in the model we will create a Dart file, its name will be node model, and inside this we are going to have a class, its name will be node model. So to create the node model, here we can take the idea from our node application. Now let's go to the create, and we have this title, the body and the color, and also we need one ID to manipulate later this post, like to delete or update it. So here we are going to have first the ID to manipulate this node on a specific unique ID, the title, the body, and also the color of type int, as we do not have any paver type in the cloud file store, and so that's why we are storing the only value of the color in the cloud file store. So now after this, simply pass these in the constructor just like this, and also make them name parameter by wrapping them in the curly braces of the map. Next in here we want some conversion methods, like you already familiar with this in the 16 or 17 section. While we were dealing with the Firebase base, when we were storing the data in the cloud file store, we simply have to convert that data from dot objects to document, like to document data, or to JSON, simply raw JSON data. And now while retrieving it, that time we have to convert the data, that raw data coming from the cloud file store that was snapshots, simply we need to convert that data to dot objects so that we will be able to show it on the UI. So here we are going to have these two methods of the conversion of the data. And so the first method is going to be the factory method, or you can also make it static. So from the node model, from snapshot, its name will be, and it will accept the document snapshot of map string dynamic, as we have the key and value pairs in our cloud Firestore. So here this is going to return the node model, not the night but the node model, and put the semicolon in here. And now here we will convert the data from snapshot to dot objects by simply doing it. For the title, we pass the snapshot title, for the body, snapshot body, for the color, snapshot color, and for the ID, snapshot ID. And that was it for our from snapshot method. And the next method will be to document or to JSON. So its type will be map string dynamic and its name will be to document, and it will simply directly will be arrow method and curly braces, put the semicolon, and this is going to return the key and value pairs. Its key will be of type string and value can be dynamic, like of any type. So we got for the title key, title, ID will be ID, and the body will be the body, and the color will be that specific color of dot object. So we have also successfully created our model. We have the data that will be stored in our cloud Firestore, and the from snapshot will convert the data from snapshot to dot objects, and the to document will convert the data from dot objects to simple raw data like the map string dynamic. So we got our model. Next we will go for creating the file in the database directory. Its name will be database handler. So inside this we are going to have a class and its name will be the database handler. Now inside this database handler class we are going to have some static methods like to create, read, update, and delete the node from the cloud Firestore database. So our first method is going to be the create node. Its type is static, and its static method, its type is future void, and its name is create node. It accepts the node model, and simply this will be the asynchronous, as this is the future method. And in the body, first of all here we need to do, so before doing here like dealing with the cloud Firestore database is accessing the collection and document references, let's move to the browser, and here that is our Firebase node application that is set up with our Flutter application of Android and iOS. Now let's go to the build and go to the Firestore database. And first let's get started with the database of cloud Firestore. So let's create the database. This will take a while, and go for a test mode. Next, and keep it default, enable this, and provisioning cloud Firestore, and after some time your database will be created, and then we will go for dealing with this cloud Firestore. Now it is saying the setting up security rules. So this database is created now. So let's close this check method from here, and now our data will comes in here. So now first of all here we need to access the collection that we want to create in our cloud Firestore database. So let's do create a final variable. Its name will be nodes collection, as we are accessing the nodes in this variable. So from the Firebase Firestore instance we got the collection and the nodes, and this is coming from the cloud Firestore package. And next, after this we will do simply generate the random ID like this for creating our node, and then we are going to have one more variable. Its name will be new node. It will be equal to node model, and the ID will be our randomly generated ID by cloud Firestore collection document, and the title will come from node title, body will also come from the node, and it means that data will come from the fields later when we call this create method on our UI. So we also have to call this to document method, as we want to convert this from dot objects to document and then to store it in the cloud Firestore database. Now after this we will do simply for calling the method we need to put the try catch, like if some exception occurs. So what we will do, so in the try we do node collection on the document ID, that is the randomly generated ID. Simply set the new node, the data that's come from the text field, simply set this node in the cloud Firestore, and if some error occurs simply catch this and print it. And that's it for the create method. Now let's go for the get method of the, and you can see that's really familiar of that code when you are dealing with the Firebase basics. Only the difference is the data is coming from the fields. As I said, this will happen in the previous videos. So everything is same. We are going to have the 4 methods: create, read, update and delete for the node, and that is really similar to the previous sections of this week too. So for you, this will also be easy for you to also implement the block inside, as we have implemented in the Firebase basics, also the block and qubits. Also this will be easy for you to also implement it in here, as the methods are also the same also in here. So this was the create method. Now let's go for the get method, and this will be really similar to that method as we had in the Firebase basics. So for read data, first we put the read data comment. It will be a static method, and this is going to return stream list of not model. Like in this stream, give us the list of not model, so that we will map these lists in the UI and will show them up in the list view builder in the list. So that will be all the nodes in our nodes collection in the cloud Firestore. So first of all, obviously we need to access the nodes collection, copy it and paste it in here. And next here we need to return just like this from the nodes collection. We will do the snapshots to give us the snapshot, and we'll map the snapshot. This will give us the query snapshot. Simply for naming convention, we will name this query snapshot, and from this query snapshot we will access the list of document query snapshot, and we will map this also. And then we will call our node model dot from snapshot and convert each of the document snapshot to dot objects, and can simply convert it to list, so that we will show it up in the list view builder in the UI. So that was it for the get node methods also. Now let's go for updating, and then we will go for the delete method. So we got this method also. Its type is also future void, and it's a static method. It's update node. It also accepts the node model, as it is going to update the node, and it will be asynchronous, as its return type is future void. And this is going to do, first of all, again access to the node collection, and then right after this we will do again one more final variable, and this time this will be new node, that updated node, but the ID will be not randomly generated, but that specific ID on which we are updating the node, and the title, body and color will also be coming from the node model, meaning that from the edit page here, from the edit page, this title, body and the color, so here this will come from here. So after this we will do, for calling the method, we will do await node collection document on that specific node ID on which we are editing the node. Simply update new node, meaning that on that new data, and if some exception occurs, simply say some error occurs and say and print that E. And next, the delete method will be really simple. That will be just like this: static future void delete node on that specific ID. This will delete the node. It will be asynchronous, as this is future. First we access the node. In the try block we simply await on that specific ID, simply delete the node. If some exception occurs, simply print this. And that was it for the backend database handler methods. So it's creating the node, and it's reading the node, and it's edit or update the node, and it's also delete the node. So that was it for the backend method. Now let's go to utilize these methods in the UI to see their work. Now first of all, let's go for getting the nodes on the home page. In the home page, here we have already this single node, and here we have the list view builder. Simply here we will wrap this list view builder with the widget, and that widget will be the stream builder. And the stream, we will simply call our method of from the database handler get the nodes. And now in here in the builder we will check some conditions, and that conditions will be: first, if the connection stat was equal to the connection stat waiting, simply we will return in the center the from the image assets iOS loading GIF, and its width and height will be 50, and that is that GIF of iOS loading. So if the connection stat was loading, we will simply show this iOS loading GIF. So that was it for the first condition. And in the second condition we will say if the snapshot has data equal to false, like if there is no data, simply we'll say in the center no data, or also we can show some widget of colors and some text. So we will do it in a while. For now, let's go for the other condition, that is if the snapshot data is empty, meaning that if that list that is coming in here, the list of node model in the stream, if that is empty, will simply show this no nodes model, and you'll also show this in here. So let's go and create this widget, and that widget is really simple. Let's go down here, and that will be just like this. It's a simple widget, simply returning in the center column. Its main axis alignment is in the center, and in the children property of the column we have a container width and height of 200, and we are accessing the add nodes image.png, that is this image. And here in the size box, height 15, meaning that vertical spacing about 15, and some text of create colorful nodes. Its size, font size 30, and font weight is W400, meaning that some little bit of bold text, and text align is in the center. So that's it. If the data is empty, so we will show this in here, and also for this case we can also show this just like this if the data has equal to false. And the next condition in here is going to be, what if the snapshot has data? So if it has data, simply we will return our list view builder. Cut this from here, paste it inside, and here directly we will return simple again this center, just like this. So now open this list view builder, and in here we are going to have one field, and this will be final nodes equal to snapshot.data. So this will give us the list of nodes. You can see as a type the list of node model. So here we will get the nodes.length according to the size of the collection documents inside. So simply according to that we will show the items in here. So here now we will extract the data on specific index title. So here we will do nodes on the specific index. From the cloud Firestore we will access the title, and same copy this, paste it in here, and this will be not the color but the body. And for the color, this will be the same, copy this, paste it in here, color. That was it. Now after this, what we have to do, simply hot start our application and then open up your emulator. So you can see for now the data list is empty, so we are seeing create colorful nodes. So if there is some data, simply then that specific node that we have created will be show up in the list view. So we have get the data. Now it's time to go for the create in here, just like this. So in the create node, here we need to do, first of all we have to create one boolean variable, and its name will be is not creating will be equal to false. This is for to show up the iOS loading GIF whenever the node is creating. So when the node is creating, simply this will be true, and according to this you will show the indicator of loading. And if this is false, so simply we will do not show the indicator, or simply the indicator will be disappear when this is false. So that was it for this. And now in here we will create a method. So that will be of create method, just like this. And in the body, first of all here we will do set the stat is not creating to true. Like whenever this create method is called, simply we will set the stat variable is not creating to true, like now when the node is creating. Now according to this we will manage the circular indicator, but for now let's wait for it and complete this method. So next thing in the create method we will do future.delayed duration millisecond of 100, and in the body, so here we are delaying 1 second, like to keep the circular indicator for at least 1 second for some user experience. Like when the button is clicked, this will become true, the circular progress indicator will appear, and after 1 second then we will perform some operation like to create the node and do something else. So after this is not creating will become false, and the indicator will disappear, and the node will be created, and this will navigate back us to the home page. So that is it. First, for some good user experience, we are just keeping the indicator just for the 1 second. So this will become true, indicator will appear, and inside this we will do, first we have to check two conditions. If the title is empty, simply we will show a toast message, enter title, and we will set this is not creating to false. To stop this creating method to not go forward, simply return this. So this method will stop right there and the indicator will become false or disappear. Only in case if this is empty. So if this was not empty, simply this if will not be executed. And also for the second one, if the body was empty, simply we will type something in the body and we will set the indicator to false, return to stop the method right here to not go forward for creating the node. If these two was simply empty, so we will not let this process to go forward for creating the node. So that is just for validation like this. And next we will do, from the database handler, simply call the create node method. It accepts the node model and the node model got the title, body and the color, and the ID is generating randomly from the cloud Firestore in here, you can see here. And now in the create node, the title will come from the text, the title controller.text, and the body is coming from the body controller.text, and the selected color will be the selected color that is stored in that variable. So we got the create node method just like this. And now when this method is completed, when this process completes in the then method, as this is future, so we will simply set this is not creating to false and navigator pop to simply navigate back us to home page and show up our node in there. So our create node method is successfully created. Now let's go and control the circular progress indicator according to this is not creating. Now let's go here at the top, and in here we will wrap this padding widget with the widget that will be stack widget, as we are going to show the circular progress indicator right here in the center on top of the other widgets. So for that we need obviously the stack, and then here the property of alignment of the stack will be alignment dot center to show the circular progress indicator at the center. And then in the children of the stack in here we will say if the is not creating was equal to true whenever this create method is clicked and this is not is become equal to true. And we will according to this show up the iOS circular progress indicator GIF. Its width and height will be 50, otherwise you will show nothing but a simple container which means nothing. And also we have to change the background color of the scaffold accordingly when this is not is creating. So for the background color we will do, if the not is creating was equal to true, simply the background color will be light gray color, otherwise this will be dark background color. And also one more thing here, we need to wrap this tag with the widget, and that will be absorb pointer, and we will pass for the absorbing is not creating equal to true. This absorb pointer means this will absorb all the pointers, like when this is not creating is equal to true, we will not allow user to click anywhere on that whole create node page. So simply just like this you are preventing also the user when the node is creating, so you will not be allowed to click anywhere, like to select the colors of the nodes and click in the text field, etc. Now after this done, simply to test this out, how to start your application, as we have done so many changes. So simply you will test this out. If there are some problems, so simply you will revert these changes. So after your application, how to start, open your application and go for the create node. And here type some title for your node, and let's say I type it my node title 1 and its body is going to be my node body equal to 1. And let's say I select this green color for this. And now when I click this done, nothing will happen just because we have not called the method yet. Simply go for calling this method in here. This will be create node, and also again how to start the application. Then again go for this and type my node title 1, my node body 1. Now this time select this yellow color and go for this. You can see circular progress indicator appear, it disappeared, this navigate back us to this page, and you can see we got this in here. So our node is successfully created. Now let's go to the browser, and here how to start this Cloud Firestore page. And inside this we got the node collection, node document, the body, the color. You can see the color int value and the unique ID. So later we will also manipulate this node on that ID. We got the title that we have specified in the text. So that's how you can deal with this. Now let's move to the Android Studio. So that was it for the create method, and let's also create one more text, or the not the text. Let's say my node title 2 and my node body 2 or double 2, and select this purple color for this and go for create. Circular progress indicator appear, one more node is created. So that's how you can create and also read the nodes. And now it's time to go for updating the nodes. So like when they click this, you can see null check operator used on null value, just because we also have to configure this edit node page. Now go back and go to the edit node page. Now this time this edit node page is going to accept the just like this, and this will also be passed in the constructor as this, and this will be required. And now the data will come from, like, the title controller will becomes equal to text editing controller, and its text will become from the widget dot not model dot title, and also duplicate this. Now this will be the body, and the body will come from the not body. And also for this one, let's move it from here, put it in here, and the selected node will becomes equal to the widget dot not model dot color, and put the semicolon in here, put this assertion operator in here for not nullable. So whenever this edit node is clicked on that specific node, so with that specific node we will bring that node data in that edit node page, and will show up in the title, body, and the selected color accordingly. Now let's go to the home page, and here this is going to require this node model. So simply we will pass the node on that specific index that is clicked while going to the edit node page. So that's it. Now how to start the application to also see how we take the data from home page to the edit node page, just like this. Now open up this, and when I click this, you can see we got the title 2 and body 22 of that node data in here, also in the edit node page. And you can see this node color is already selected according to this, as we have done in the init this configuration. So to also do the same for the update node page, simply we will go to the create node page, and you'll copy this long enough method from here and go to the edit node page. This is really simple or similar to this. Simply only this method will be not the method, but this variable will be different. Paste this in here. It will be boolean equal to false, but this time this will be is not editing and not the creating. Now let's also change it in here for this, and also put the assertion operator for the text, as here the text controller is nullable. Also call this method or import this database handler and call the update method, and this time we also have to pass the ID. So the ID will come from widget dot not model dot ID. So on that specific ID that we have brought from our home page, on that specific ID we will update this time this node, and that's it. The methods, this will be edit node. Now here we have to do the same configuration as we have done for the home page, not the home but the create. We will wrap this with the stack widget, and let's go to the create node page, and from here we will copy this from here and paste it in the children of the stack, and this method will be not the method but the variable will be is not editing, and its alignment will be alignment dot center. That's it, to show this indicator in the center, and also its color accordingly. Go to this and copy this from here and paste it in here, and also import this and also change this and import these two colors. So this will also be changed accordingly when the node is editing. And then also one more thing, wrap this tag with the widget absorb pointer, and for the absorb pointer we will pass absorbing the edge node editing. So that was it also for this. Now for whenever the save changes is clicked, simply we will do call the edit node method and simply pop the context to remove this dialog box, and there will appear a dialog box, not a dialog but the circular progress indicator, and color will become light gray. And then after some time the node will be updated accordingly, the data is entered. Now after this also how to start your application. To test this out, after your application how to start, open your application and let's go for updating this first node. So let's say we want this to, let's say 666 for the body and also 666 for the title and the body, and change its color to, let's say, this sky color. Now click this and yes, this will disappear and this will wait for some time, and our node is, you can see, updated. The title is become 666 and the body become 666 and its color is also changed. So we have also successfully updated our node, and now one last thing remaining is just to delete this node so our application will be successfully created. So now let's go for the home page, and in here when this long press, simply with this we will also call a method that will be really simple method database handler delete node on that specific index on that ID on which that dialog box is appeared. Now after this, again how to start the application to also test this out. Now when the application how to start, open this up and let's try deleting this second node. Let's say hold this appears. When I say no, this will disappear and nothing will happen. When you click this, hold this again and click this yes, this will be deleted from the cloud Firestore. And also let's also delete this, and when there is nothing, this will say create nodes, and when you create, let's say with some this gibberish data and select this color, this will take this and your node is created. And let's say you put 1 2 3 in here and change its color. You can save this just like this and this will be updated to this data. Now you can delete this, and that's how you have created your node application using cloud Firestore database and in Flutter. And that was the last section of this week 2. Not forget your tasks. You have to rebuild this application using the block or qubit, and also let me know in the comment section. So that's it for now. Goodbye, and I will see you in the week 3.